Having come down Heartbreak Hill and stayed overnight just beyond, we're going to continue now moving in a northerly direction on the Trent and Mersey, and eventually we will arrive at Middlewich. We go through about 6 locks I think on this stretch and past the salt works, which is right at the side of the canal, and we enter Middlewich. At Middlewich we're going to turn left, and initially we're going to take the Wardle Canal, which is England's shortest canal at I think it's 47 metres long. It is part of the Middlewich Branch, so you just continue onto the Middlewich Branch, and then as soon as you come out of Middlewich you're really into the open country. We go under the West Coast Main Line at that point, and it meanders through the Cheshire countryside. I think we did a couple of locks along this stretch, but generally it's quite flat. But we did encounter some grey skies and some wet weather, as you'll see. We're heading away towards Barbridge Junction and the main line of the Shropshire Canal, but we didn't actually get that far. We were supposed to be on that part of the journey at the end of the second day, but because of the rain we got held up, and we stayed just here at Sykes Hollow. We're just entering Middlewich. We've been cruising for about 2 hours, and it's about 11:10 now. I think we've done 6 locks already this morning. This is Middlewich. We're going to see if we can get some food shopping done here, because shops are pretty sparse from now on once we leave Middlewich. It's pretty open and rural, and there aren't many villages and not many shops. So very shortly we're going to be turning left, but we're going to moor up and see if we can find some food shops. And we've just had fish and chips from that little establishment, and this is King's Lock, and this is the last lock down. Immediately after the lock we turn left where the bridge is, where the white van's coming over the bridge. The Shropshire Union Middlewich Branch goes under that bridge. So we've got a boat coming up the lock, so who's just getting it sorted. I don't know if there's anybody with them, but he's probably on his own. We've arrived on the Middlewich branch of the Shropshire Union Canal. We've come about, I don't know, 3-4 miles from Middlewich, and we're in the middle of nowhere. Winsford is over there in that direction, Middlewich is back there. That way is Barbridge Junction, which is I think about another 10 miles. So we're going to be there tomorrow, and we'll join the Llangollen Canal at Barbridge. We called in Middlewich for some last minute shopping really, because we don't think we're going to be seeing any shops for the next 2 days, so we wanted to make sure that we're stocked up on bread and the like. So we found a little one-stop type shop there, and we actually had fish and chips for lunch, which was a treat. We've been to that chippy before when we came up here on a hire boat, so luckily they were still in business, so we had fish and chips for lunch. When we came onto this branch off the Trent and Mersey at the junction, we turn a sharp left, and immediately you're onto this canal. There's a lock, and there was a boat in the lock coming down, so we pulled in under the bridge, but there's no tying points, so you have to hold the boat manually, and when they emptied the lock, it took the boat. I couldn't hold it, so I had to jump on pretty quick and just go with the boat, which was pushed out back into the canal. Fortunately there was nothing coming either way, and so we managed to rectify that situation. Once the lock was empty, I pulled back in under the bridge and the boat came out and passed me under the bridge, and then we went into the lock. But I think that was probably the most excitement we've had all day. But it's nice here. It's very, very rural. The birds are twittering. There's a tractor in the distance somewhere, so it's all very agricultural and rural, and there's plenty of wildlife to have a look at. Seen the first kingfisher today, just flashed past us. Weather-wise, it rained overnight last night. It was drizzling a bit when we got up, but by the time we set off it had cleared up, and we've had another dry day, although it's been very cloudy, and it was chilly this morning. Coat was on, but this afternoon it's quite warm. Shed a few layers of clothing, had a cup of tea, I've had my shower, so we're all set for a quiet night in. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. Just to put our position in perspective, there's Middlewich. We've come down here now under the railway line, and we're moored just by that bridge there. Wimboldsley is the nearest settlement. I won't call it a village, but you can see Winsford is there, Middlewich is there, and we're coming down here now. I'm out for an evening stroll on the towpath just down from the boat. I'm walking back towards Middlewich just to have a look what's about. It's quite turned into quite a pleasant evening, and over there is an old manor house with a farm around it, and we've got a pair of swans across the way, and we're coming up to bridge 19 on the itinerary where we were supposed to be mooring just along here, but there is a house there and we didn't want to walk too close to the house. And just beyond the house is a row of old stables, now converted into residential accommodation, but at one time that would have been where you changed horses on your journey to or from Middlewich. So I've climbed up onto the bridge. It's actually a public footpath, so I'm not trespassing. It's only an accommodation bridge for farm animals and farm machinery, but it provides quite a pleasant vantage point to look along the canal. And that's the canal cottage, and just tucked behind it are the stables, but that's looking in the Middlewich direction, the way we've come. And as you can see, it's quite a wide canal. I've looked on the ordnance map, and this footpath takes you up to a main road. I think it's the A530, and it shows a pub. But we're not going to go up there. But on the canal itinerary it does say the something arms, I can't remember what it was called. And I was thinking as we came through, I can't see any pub anywhere, but it's up this footpath, and on the main road. It's probably half a mile, so I'm not really out tonight to find a pub. And these are the old stables. Imagine it would have been a hive of activity here in the days of the working canals. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning, and we've been running for just over an hour, and it started raining, so we've pulled in to sit the rain out near a place called Church Minshall, which is that little village down there. It's quite pleasant. We thought, rather than keep going and get wet, we're not in any hurry. We'll pull in when we see a mooring, and there's some proper moorings here, although we're on mooring pins. But you can see the state of the sky. I don't think it's going to give up raining just yet. I think probably this afternoon it will improve according to the forecast. So we're going to sit it out here, and I could think of worse places to moor up and sit out a rainstorm. This is nice. We're having a bit of a slow day today. We were held up for rain this morning. It's about 2 o'clock to lunchtime now. We've had a dinner. Yeah, we set off at about just after 9, and by 10 o'clock it was coming quite heavy, so we decided let's pull in and sit it out. So that's what we did. It brightened up and then it started raining again, so we just decided we'd have a morning off cruising, and the man's just pointing to a fender that's floating. It's not mine, and it's no good anyway, otherwise I'd have fished it out. He's lost a fender, and I've lost a fender as well this morning. What was I saying? Oh, get on the boat. This is Minshall Lock, which we're just waiting for. There's one gone up in front of us, and there's one coming down now, so we're just waiting for that. But yeah, it's been wet and the wind's got up now, and it's actually drizzling again now. It's supposed to be clear this afternoon after 1 o'clock according to the forecast, but that didn't happen. So we've had a morning sitting inside, lit the fire, dried the coats out, and I've actually had a haircut, long awaited, so I feel a bit better on top now after that. It was getting ready, so we've not wasted a morning. We've just not been cruising, and it's started to rain again. I'm out on my evening walk, and this evening is probably the best part of the day, because we've had a day of rain on and off, This time tonight we should have been on the Llangollen Canal, but we're still on the Middlewich Branch of the Shropshire. We're about 4 miles from the junction with the Shropshire main line, which takes us onto the Llangollen. So we've lost a little bit of time today on the schedule. We were due to do about 5 hours cruising. We've managed to do just over 2. That's mainly due to the rain. We had a rain stop about 10 o'clock and we decided we'd stop there and have lunch there and then set off again, because it forecast the rain was going to clear away by about 1 o'clock. So we got going about 1:30 and by 2:30 we pulled in again. It was that horrible drizzle that wets you through, and then the wind started getting up as well. So instead of the 6 locks we were due to do today, we've done 1 lock, and we've done about 4 miles, and instead of 5 hours cruising we've done 2. So as a consequence we're behind schedule now, but that doesn't matter. We'll be on the Llangollen tomorrow, and it's quite a pleasant spot here. We're just a little bit further up than this area. This area that I'm standing on, there's a few picnic tables just around, and I was reading, there's an information board there. I was reading it was a clay pit, and there's an old building there which was the office for the clay pit, and the clay pit was in use until the 1980s, and it was used for extracting clay for puddling this canal. So that's quite interesting. It's obviously abandoned now. There's no sign of a pit. It's just a levelled area, and it's got picnic tables on, so it's quite a nice spot. And as you can hear, we're surrounded by birdsong tonight, which is one of the reasons why I like to have a walk. I always think the acoustics next to the water creates that nice effect on the birdsong. It gives it an echo. There's a woodpecker up there, I don't know if you can hear it. I was also reading on the information board that in the 1880s there was an experimental railway laid along here, and a little engine from Crewe Works, which Crewe's not that far away actually, it's about probably 2-3 miles as the crow flies. So a little loco from Crewe Works was used to haul boats, but it proved to be an unsuccessful method of hauling boats, so it was abandoned. But that was along here, and it is dead straight for over a mile, probably getting on for 2 miles. It is dead straight, the canal, so it would have been ideal for trying that sort of solution out, but as I say, they said it didn't work out, so they abandoned it. So that's quite interesting as well, and that's why I go for a little walk, because as you're going along on the boat you miss things like this. So if you get the opportunity when we're more up to come back and have a look on foot, I find it's so much more rewarding and educational. That's the end of today. As I say, we're on to the Llangollen tomorrow, and hopefully, I don't think we're planning on trying to catch up time. There's no point, we're not in any hurry. We're probably about 2-3 hours behind the schedule now, but as I say, it doesn't matter. We'll probably have more wet days anyway, so by the end of the cruise we'll probably be 2 or 3 days behind the schedule. So we just carry on poddling along as the weather allows us.